from across the globe have been battling relentlessly through Split 1 to get to this moment right here on this stage in Toronto, where their biggest challenge is about to start. Which team will rise up to the occasion to become the next Masters? Well, we're about to find out. Toronto, let's get this started. Le deuxième Masters commence maintenant! Versus PRX.
This is a rematch for the ages to kick us off at Masters Toronto. But a lot has changed since the last time they met.
It absolutely has, but the hype has stayed the same, too. I'm getting chills when they're walking out onto stage. We got the Sunnies all ready to go. Both teams fully locked in and ready to go for this first map.
Shout out to Van Silly as well. Shout out to our man Van Silly. But speaking of the things that have changed, Sunset is in play. But will we see it, Mel? Is that a risk, you think, to pick Sunset?
To pick Sunset, you must have been a phenomenal team on Sunset to pick it off the gate.
Yeah,
the first tournament.
Heretics have decided to go to Lotus instead of Sunset. I think that's a mistake.
Interesting.
It's hard to know, right, without real tape on this Sunset map, whether or not we're going to be rocking a lot. But what I'm interested in is Pearl Icebox, because, I mean, you know better than anyone, but, like, Pearl is historically the worst map in the EMEA pool, and Icebox is historically the best.
Here is a stat. Do you two want to guess how many times the 3 EMEA teams in this tournament played Pearl during stage 1 of EMEA? Fnatic, Heretics, and Liquid, how many times did they play Pearl combined?
I'm going to say 3.
I'm going to say 1.
They played it 1 time, and it was Team Heretics. This is not an EMEA map. If anything, like you said, we are terrible on it. So PaperX clearly have done their homework. Mel, we won't have the Sunset. Does this favor anyone, you think, now you know the maps?
Honestly, it really depends. I think it could go, like, both of them are going to take the map picks, and then it's going to go to a third map for sure.
Yeah, honestly, for me, I'm just curious to see what we're playing in terms of agents, right? Because neither team was super aboard the Taeho train.
Yeah.
But on this map of Pearl, PaperX had been playing Jet Phoenix tops, which are unique to say the least on this map, but play very differently to a lot of other ideas. Phoenix so good for both A-main control and fighting around that mid space.
I'm really interested to see how Team Heretics really deal with teams running a double duelist comp against them as well, not just on Pearl, but overall, because normally they don't really run into double duelist in EMEA besides Haven. That is when everyone's running the Yoru and the ISO. However, PaperX kind of has an advantage because, I mean, we all have seen the APAC comps. They are crazy. They've seen everything. They've seen it all. They've scrimmed it all. So I'm really interested to see. I think PaperX does have an advantage in dealing with double duelist comps against them. So I'm really excited to see how this turns out.
And also, I think in dealing with Miniboo's Neon as well, because there's a lot of Neon that we see over in Pacific too.
Right. We might see, like, I mean, maybe Neon slides don't work as well against PaperX. The mechanics, the APAC mechanics are just going to come through.
I mean, the one time they did run this Pearl against Na'Vi, they won. We had the Miniboo on Yoru and Vut on Jet, which is something they have leaned into. They like this kind of duo, but I actually wouldn't hate it that much if Miniboo doesn't play Yoru. It wouldn't bother me. Yeah, because he'll probably play Neon, and no one's going to have a go at his Neon.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and like, when we started seeing a lot more Neon getting played on Pearl earlier in the year, I was a big fan of it. Like, the execs you can run. Yoru usually plays a lot slower, you know, it's more macro, TP, all that type of stuff, but Neon can just overwhelm sites, and that is what Heretics are so good at.
And I do want to shout out, because I can see on my monitor, I'm sure you guys will see in a second, Mind Freak is here. He did travel with PaperX, and he is sitting in the coach booth next to Alex, so maybe that's a bit of a buff as well, a cheeky bit of assistant coach power.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what he feels his role is in the assistant coach. Is it just keeping him calm? Is it keeping Alex calm? Or is it more just like, he's like bad cop, good cop? I wonder what the vibe is there. Every time I've seen Mind Freak in the coach booth, he's always been smiling though.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm biased from the clips I've seen, but he always seems to bring a good vibe. So I'm leaning more towards good cop, bad cop vibe.
I just think it's great that for so many years, we've seen the Freak And now we get to see the mind.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Do you know what? I'm really mad when other people are funnier than me. That makes me so mad.
No,
that
you
up with
already
that.
won the day with the intro with the 18 titles, so I'm trying to catch up.
No, but I think you beat me there. I think you beat me there. But the agents will definitely be very, very interesting because we all seem to be very convinced that we might not even see a single Tejo. You know, we won't see it. But you know, we don't always know. We don't always know. How would you be mad at all if we saw a Tejo on Pearl out the gate?
I would have a heart attack, I'm not gonna lie. That would take me so off guard for either of these teams that didn't really commit to Teo. And is this what I think it is?
Yes, we are having live agent select right now. You're seeing the players pick their agent in real time, and this hover really, really makes me worry.
Yeah, so importantly, HyperX looks like they've all locked in. Heretics are not locked in. Don't freak out just yet. They're all hovering and maybe going back to some more normal things. But I think to talk about HyperX for a moment, this does deviate from what they've been playing a little bit. I do think they have a recent game playing this comp, though, with the Yoru Raze double dive options, which I do think can be very powerful.
I'm really curious to see how that plays out on defense. Obviously, they're going to be starting attack, so we'll take a while to get to that point. But that is really interesting. I could see the Raze being really annoying in terms of disrupting like Sentinel setups, getting that nade or the satchel to break it, so then it allows your other duelists to go in an entry afterwards.
Yeah, and it's not just anyone's Raze, it's the Jing
The
Raze.
classic.
That is the Tekker's Raze. But on the other side of this, Vut playing Breach is not something we see a lot. In fact, only 4 or 5 times in the past. But he has to kind of flex here because Rian's fade is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, the Rian's fade, you can't give up on that for sure, but I'm curious to see how this Breach plays up alongside with the nerfs, right? How it can combo those stuns with stuff like the Yoru.
Well, we have 18 titles here on the desk. I'm sure we're going to be adding a couple more as I throw this over Toronto to your casters, Uber and Wyatt.
Thank you very much, Yinsu. Great to be here in the 6th to kick off this Masters Toronto in the best way possible. It's 2 teams that take these tournaments at breakneck speed, but Wyatt, they've been cursed to stumble at the last hurdle in the past.
So many second place, third place finishes for these squads respectively. The tournament is going to begin here. They've met before in a group stage. That was a long time ago back at Madrid. And we haven't seen a whole lot of HyperX on the global stage since then. It's time for redemption to see if the train is going to keep on rolling.
Here we go, folks. Into the pistol. Heretic start on defense. Well, already we've got this play up through connector here. Gonna leave me the Prowler that tries to get him in. Wood on the breach this time around. A fault line comes out at a decent time.
Could be in a bit of trouble if there's a pop flash out of this, but no, it's just going to be a pivot towards the spawn. The minimap is bizarre right now. Triple push from Team Heretics all the way through B, creeping into the spawn of the attackers.
It's going to defeat a lot of this KJ util placed in A main. PRX here able to push out from Link.
There's just no way that they're going to expect this retake to be coming from all of these angles. Benji Fishy biding his time right now, allowing the rest of the players to get in position.
They have to know they're on a clock, though. Look at the lurk coming here from Boo. They'll be turning up from A main in time, but PRX want to push through. Flash in the direction. That's Flowers, doesn't see anything. Briefly pinged out on the site. That Haunt does give a lot of information now. PRX want to push ahead of this way, but look, caught in the grab well here. Devi's going to sit. And then Wood's going to take first contact with Device tucked in the corner. It's a 2 for 2. Forsaken buys his time. Opts to double back. There's no plant yet.
No, they've got enough time though. They want to try to pivot to B, but these 1v1s being taken or awkward. Forsaken. Lovely trade. Brings it to the 2 versus 2. And in the meantime, Patman had been making his way over towards this B site. It's going to be awkward for Team Heretics on this reclear. There's so many positions that these last 2 players could be tucked into, but they opt for the double halls play together.
Of course, Patman dubs as the handler for this PRX team. He's a tight leash on them and deals with Mini Boo as he tries to approach from B long. It's on Boo. Now they know he's here. The Horde reveals his location. And the IGL now needs to make a play for Halls. He knows what the setup is, but he has to face it. Natty. And Patman deals with him as PRX with the pistol.
That is the steady hands of the man who has just been a consistent element since joining this PRX team. Comes up in the first pistol round for his global debut. Pivotal 2K for Patman, wins that duel towards long. What a bizarre pistol to start off this game. The map being entirely flipped by both sides. But HyperX making that nice pivot with those 30 seconds or so remaining, getting over to get that plant on B.
Temptation, the double back on A when Benji got taken low. But PRX have a clear call to hit that B side now. Let's see what they got for this anti-eco. It's a group up towards that B side. Note that the shear wall's been placed behind them.
This is looking just absolutely free for PRX here. Team Heretics opt to go for this gamble stack towards the A site. They're not going to find a thing, and at that they've got all classics. But of course, when you're running this Yoru, you are going to always be prioritizing just farming up those orbs. The dimensional drift has just been one of the highest power ultimates in the meta this year.
Razorvine deployed in halls. This is tough for Benji, and Jing explodes. It's an easy judge pickup. And now for the rest of Team Heretics.
Spike planted.
They're going to have to likely perish to the spike. Sorry, Sliggy, no Molly's here, mate.
Feels like running Raze on this map is unorthodox, doesn't do justice to the agent being played here. It is so uncommon. And that kind of play, that double satchel back into halls, we're going to be seeing a lot of that from Jing, taking opening engagements, being set up to try and get in really deep with these satchels on attack. The Divide with this Ghost, hoping to just pick off a couple players right now.
On a second guess, fault line, they're trying to catch him out. Some old orbs on the table here though for PRX. If Heretics get a little bit too close, Riens will have his. And the rest of PRX have already gotten out of dodge. And that'll be that. 4 perish to the spike for Heretics. But now we're well and truly on the road. And this is a comp from PRX that we've seen them pick up very recently to good success. We're kind of figuring out on the fly exactly how they're going to make best use of this Raze mobility.
I mean, after watching months of Teo on this map, both teams have come out with very unique approaches. If these guys tried to do any prep for each other, that is out the window entirely. This is going to be who can call best on the fly, who can adapt the most, or are these just going to be 2 teams running it down on each other?
We might get that here.
Haymakers.
Look at the util set up for this A main fight. Miniboo fancies a little bit of it, but PRX is slower on the uptake. It's a smoke out on them, but they're going to try and follow this Raze util in. Miniboo has a swing. Something gets ahead of it. Riens, though, able to follow up on the grab well, and now will take up this position of boxes. And that's stunning stuff for Riens.
Spike down.
Just what the doctor ordered. Forsaken is out of the game, essentially. How do we break back in? We're on the breach.
In a situation like that, you're going to see this utility from the Team Heretic side be so powerful. Honestly, remarkable that something isn't even able to get that first blood. You're trapped in the grab well. There's a stun being thrown onto him as well. PRX opt to go for a pretty loose call here. Just triple swinging through the smoke with multiple players there. They're lined up. Just doesn't work out.
Let's go. Nice one.
Not the bonus I think the PRX were looking for. Heretics really taking control of that A main position, and PRX might be tempted to test them again.
Placing swarm grenade.
Here we go. This is PRX economy on the line in their first buy round. A lot of emphasis towards mid. It looks like they just want to go for a very quick A split, or at least threaten that to open things up. Here comes that double satchel. Hit the push. Oh, they can't be getting that.
Oh, there's more where that came from, Wyatt. Divide's having to deal with Benji. And now you're trapped if you're Riens in A main. He's only good for the one. Miniboo needs to try and find a way into the game, but he's at risk of being crunched on here as Forsaken gets the spike down. Clock is ticking for Miniboo, and eventually he'll be stuck out of position. It's on Boo. Stuck here for Flowers, and there's not a whole lot to be done.
And that's exactly what you're going to expect from this PRX team. Just mental double satchels in from Jing that you're never going to be prepared for. You're never scrimming against this. They are a one-of-one team, and Jing is a one-of-one Raze. Again, it's going to come down to these adaptations on the fly. Boo caught by something. PRX in danger of being on an eco if they lost that round, but taking it in convincing fashion.
There's no way you're ready for this.
Yeah, no, I mean, having to make that adjustment. Look at him, he dodges the fall line as well. That movement is so smooth.
And again, we're seeing Heretics try and slow the game down with these nebulae, right? Smoke up and force PRX to flash through them. That's another situation where that attempt to stall for Heretics is utterly defeated.
The first round, this is the first round we're going to have an ultimate on the playing field. Riens has already put up 6 kills, has gotten to that Nightfall relatively early, so perhaps that could be the critical element of Team Heretics winning this buy round that does just have Boo on a Bucky.
That was just really a token effort for PRX to keep Benji interested here over towards Connected, because they pulled out after that Prowler was deployed over towards this B side.
There was a Prowler reclip just then from Riens towards Art, and now opting to double up control A main with Miniboo. PRX though, they have just slowly pivoted over towards this B side. Here comes the full execute. So much utility for backhauls, but at the moment that Molly is going to keep Jing at bay. They know who has this Bucky. They can just try to avoid him.
He clears the Razor Vine though, so there's an option for Boo to spring forth should he need to, but he's sat here with the Bucky. It's an awkward line to be on. Patience for Boo. He's going to get shot up through the wall though. Benji can't hold mid, only finds his one. And now from tower, Heretics have to make the play. God, that happened in light speed. PRX rack up another one. And this is two teams that are going to fight round after round to impose their will on each other. There's no backing down from here.
This PRX team that has gone on the run to get here have maintained that lightning fast, exciting play, but it's just so much more regimented than when their stage 1 started, when they were going 0-3, when they looked down and out. That execute is fantastic, and I love that they are able to slow down the game, get into that little tight double peak jiggle to deal with the Bucky's backside. And even in that moment, something takes the fight, but he backs off. They just play safe, disciplined when they need to now. That's fully on display in a round like that, and it puts Team Heretics on an eco.
Heavy PRX pings towards back hole here. Looks like they're not going to waste too much time. Getting up onto this B side. Once again, C's thrown in. Jing disrespects the Razor Vine. Boo is absolutely not ready for that. He's wrapped around with the judge of this more where that came from, apparently. Jing is unchained. Cannot be stopped at this stage. And Heretics don't quite have the arsenal to slow them down meaningfully. Grabwell is going to be avoided by Rienzi. Extricates himself, but now the boys are back. Flooding into Link.
Ruthless, just taking the fight to the players with the Sheriffs. When you have Jing on your team, one of the greatest Raze players in the history of this game, just let him run wild. Build your plays around him. No one's running the Raze here, but they make it work. He is destructive when he's getting his pace into back balls.
How is Boo supposed to establish a foothold in halls against this Fade util, against the Vice, util that gets thrown down there?
It's too overwhelming. They can't anchor this site right now. They're going to have to pivot to try to play towards a retake, and especially out of this timeout, Riens has still been holding on to that Nightfall. They're getting close to other great ultimates. And so that should allow them to just safely pivot off the site, absorb that initial utility that PRX are throwing, which has been a tsunami wave, and then come back in with those ultimates after the fact.
So much of what we've seen from PRX in this game has really broken the average conditioning on a map like this. You're not playing against the average Valorant team if you're Heretics, and now you really know it. 4 ultimates have been developed on the PRX side though, including that Showstopper and that Steel Garden. And so far it's been about a tease towards Art or Connector early in the round, and then wholesale PRX have pulled out towards that B side of the map. The one round where things went a little wrong for them was when they fight doggedly for that A main position, and Heretics have great util, right? A lot of that Astra util to slow up, to smoke up, and force PRX to take a risky flash out and get gunned down.
Oh, listen, when this PRX team run into the Team Heretics stack, they have fantastic utility to slow them down, win those engagements. PRX have just been hitting a free site multiple rounds here. Now this round 7 is going to be pivotal to the outcome of this first half. 4 ultimates available for PRX. Team Heretics the one, but close to a couple more with their economy on the line. Full investment.
Front line off the rip. Jing here, expecting almost a push into Plaza by Heretics. It doesn't come. And now they're going to start to clear into Connector. Wood has given up this space. Play a more passive line. He doesn't see them cross. Showstopper pop. Jing is headed on the guts. Oh, he's headed over towards Art. Surely he doesn't wrap on this player. Benji's about to get real busy, folks, and he's dodged the rockets. However, Patman handles him. Once again, playing through these smokes, though. Boom slows the pace down, and the shots have been good enough to make it something in Forsaken verse 3.
Who's next?
Blue just slowly flanking. Nebula drops, but the ultimate is ripped by something. Going to get all the information on this side, clearing out Secret, just letting Forsaken know that he's safe to pivot towards this back area. They want to flip the map right now. Stuns coming through. Something feels like he's in so much danger. Gate crashes out to main, and that's just going to separate these two PRX players. It's going to come down to individuals, 1v1s, the cosmic divide even being used here.
This is going to at least give a safe pocket for something to get that plant. He gate crashed away from the fault line. Oh, the timing for Forsaken!
Miniboo just has to watch too many angles. He's so scared. He knows that's, Forsaken could be going for him.
You got 2 initiators up here for Heretics. Decent util for this retake, but the Cosmic Divide is a bit of an issue. Forsaken's going to anchor here behind this Nebula. Information, though, is kind of out of date about where Heretics could be coming from. Now, a bit more of an inkling. Forsaken is going to push
One
this.
enemy remaining.
Something handles it there from OMEN. Forsaken does his job. That is a 5-round lead already amassed by PRX.
That was the perfect swing timing from something in main. When the game gets chaotic, that is when PRX thrive. Frankly, you could say the same for Team Heretics, but that's even more of PRX's element than theirs. Rian's used that Nightfall, but to no avail. And you're just seeing Minibu placed in this uncomfortable situation. Has to watch a couple of different angles. They're feeling good.
Both brothers on the Heretic side have definitely looked overwhelmed in their position so far. And here's a double satchel play for Jing. Well, you've got A-main control, especially up against this half-bite.
It's a cool way to take A-main, that pop flash, double satchel, and they just want to continue this in. Teleport from something. Jing with a nade kill. Something beautiful. Lined up. Multiple headshots. Making light work of this eco.
And at Heretics, you've got the double Marshall play available to you. Rienti's going to have a crack, see what he can find. Jing has no time for it though, and Minibu will get wrapped on. Oh no, don't do it! Oh no, humanity something! This is a Masters, you can't do that!
You can't do that in the first half of the opening game.
Oh buddy, that is cold.
The opener? Oh, come on, man. That is a devious move from something. Inflicting 5,000 mental damage to Heretics early.
A 6-round lead wasn't already enough. Here's this heavy util play that forced Boo out of that position. Oh, buddy, right between the shoulder blades. And it's all smiles for PRX right now, Wyatt. Rifles back in the hands of Heretics, though. A focus over towards his art and a main split potentially.
They want to act fast. Here comes that Nightfall. Clears out sight. A main. Not going to ping onto anybody.
Alarm bot triggered on art.
Oh, Team Heretics is going to try to fight this. You could have Minibu try to pop flash out with PRX get onto the site. Steel Garden going to be ripped. Going to connect onto everyone.
Yeah, okay. We're going to have that one in play. Divide is going to make it very hard for Heretics to defend this properly. They're going to have to give it up potentially, but they're anchored in. Minibu sees a bit off that dimensional drift, but PRX have actually syncopated the tempo here, and there's a drift over to B from the defenders.
This feels like a new PRX round right now. Again, just slowing it down. They tap the plant. They want to bait this utility out.
It's about to get messy, folks. Strap in. There's the ping. The Horde sees 2. Jing with the spray. Boo is down in dugout. Something tries to emerge behind the flash, and Boo is caught with utility's hand. There is something.
God.
Closes the account. PRX show us another side to the coin. It's a pump fake, slow rolled on A that teases Heretics out.
This is simply not the PRX of old. You are watching a new team. Everything they do there, controlling the tempo, is just utterly fantastic. It is perfect play. They slow things down, allow some of those players from Team Heretics to leave after that Steel Garden was used. They tap the plant just to bait out that initiator utility. Then they get back in, post up, refight. It is picture perfect Valorant from this team.
All right, big breath here. Hearing from Heretics in press conferences and the like, they've said they're very aware of the sort of second place curse on them right now, but it's kind of not something they want to consider because of the road that still lies ahead of them here through our group stage. But they've said that they're not inexperienced kids anymore. You know what I mean? They feel like the issue more recently for them in that EMEA final where they got blown out by Fnatic was just the mental preparation. In general, they feel like they've got the experience to stay, you know, comfortable, confident at this level. But how do they dig themselves out of this 7-round hole? They've used both their timeouts here. And it's only round 10.
Last year, Heretics, they were the team from EU that really shocked the scene in the offseason. Hopes weren't super high for them. Then they come out swinging. They have a fantastic 2024 with just a crop of all of the upcoming talent. You know, you have Minibu saying in that press conference yesterday, we're not the kids we were last year. They are mature now. They've got a mental coach added onto the team to try and get them over the finish line.
Maybe they should get off the starter's block Wyatt first. Just the one round.
I mean, devastating for either of these teams who are favorites in the group stage to immediately go 0-1.
That game crashing. Didn't go into halls for something. It's tucked in that corner. Benji not close enough to see it. So they're pulled out of halls entirely, have Heretics. And again, this is just mostly a Sheriff's round stinger for Miniboo, who hasn't gotten into the game in a meaningful way yet. Either Wyatt and PRX are swarming over B.
They just love this anti-eco B slam with Jin getting into the halls with a judge. This time, Boo's out of there. He's not trying to die to that again.
What can Heretics dig up here? Forsaken aware. And he's already seen that Prowler. He knows it's coming. Fault line. Thrown out here. No one to catch on to. Or perhaps the vice behind him. But Forsaken is confident. The standout player on this PRX roster. And boy howdy, he's sharp as attack, folks.
He had an unreal run with PRX when they went on that, 5-game win streak. When the train began rolling in the playoffs to qualify, Forsaken was their most lethal player on any role that he had to be thrown on. Just the glue of this team.
I mean, all of them,
anything.
right?
I mean, yeah,
all of the roles.
5 different regions
Flawless.
in the lower final, going plus 34.
Get you someone who can do it all. This is going to be a huge amount of pressure. Heretics are feeling, at least those rifles are back. Locked down to work with. Cosmic Divide at the ready for Boo.
HyperX playing a 2-2-1 right now. Late in this half, slowing things down. They have been at their iconic lightning-fast pace with devastating executes into these sites. Here they're just waiting out to see if Team Heretics want to go for something more proactive with this breach that they've got. Miniboo is postured in A main right now. Here comes that dimensional drift. So he's going to get spotted. Miniboo is under a lot of pressure at the moment.
Just hoping to fight ahead of it. There might be a safe pocket for something here to just emerge in. Let's call a cancel. Yep, he's
no way.
Good, he's ready for him. That might be a little bit audacious even for PRX. Miniboo tries to hold it off. Angle Jing is just a little better. The guy is running roughshod over the defenders. And Benji's going to get caught on a timing, most likely. Forsaken just rips him a new one. And Boo again, hands out wide, says, what do you want me to do?
The Wii players are spotted by the dimensional drift from something. He still gets out of it in secret. Jeez. 3 players, yeah, let's just hit the site with our 4 now. They really said, nah, I'd win. they do not slow the game down there. That's just crazy decision making. But all 5 of them are so on point. The guts, the confidence for something to get out there is crazy. And they follow up. Team Heretics, they are divided. They're losing 1v1s. And Jing getting that crucial opening kill for the team to get into that site.
Sleeping, mate. We are sleeping.
Sleeping, says Nilzinho. The last time these two teams played, it was PRX that mathematically eliminated Heretics from Madrid last year. They said the emotions got the better of them. But now they're sleeping. Maybe they could use some of those. Jing pops himself up. It's the showstopper that's avoided for the most part. Just the Aura clone there in A main. So eyes turn towards Lincoln Art.
Does get some valuable information, even though it's unfortunate that that rocket was not able to get any value for the PRX side. They had their eyes on mid, no pressure coming from Heretics there, so they're going to go back to this B pivot. So many rounds for them. They've had the ability to hit this site with just one player anchoring. Opportunity for Benji, but knows he certainly can't go for more. Just has to back off. He tries to anchor. He knows he's going to get overwhelmed by neutral, but in fact, PRX, they're just going to use 2 ultimates. That very safe Cosmic Divide to allow the free plant.
And they can fall back off this. We can go back to, though it's uncharacteristic, the post-plant spam set up for PRX, but they're more likely to play ahead of it. Now, this is a wrinkle in the plan. The lockdown will allow Heretics to potentially filter in here, but something... well, they got rid of their lockdown, never mind. Something's happy to wait and bide his time here.
Patman going to double up with him as well. Something wants to get some early spam.
All this due to not opening the side up enough. Miniboo's going to go for it. He's able to find 2. And that's the best Heretics have looked this game, and it's not even close to enough.
The fundamentals are just fantastic. Patman getting back into holes to double up with something. Multiple players swinging through the Cosmic Divide that was thrown down. Just decimating Heretics on their re-entry.
Well, we're here for a good time, not a long time, apparently, folks. That is a brutal first half for Heretics. We'll be back after a short break. Collect yourselves, and we'll return to this opening matchup of Masters Toronto. I'll tell you what, we're going to come back from our half with our Coinbase econ report about a measure of the bang for the buck that you get off your credits, and Forsaken is off the charts. 50 to 70 is a great econ rating.
That is crazy from Forsaken, but yeah, that'll happen when you die twice and you never actually have to spend your money. Forsaken is on a tear, just continuing the form that he had that we mentioned previously, that run the PRX have been on to get to this tournament, coming out of nowhere. He has just been their star, no matter what role they've thrown him on.
Last time we saw PRX on this map, it was an overtime loss to RRQ in that lower final of Pacific. Something was whiffing, making some really odd decisions in the clutch situations, and Forsaken wasn't able to get them over the line, but here it's a different game plan, a different comp, and by God, it's a different outcome.
I did not expect this map to be in the pool. I certainly didn't expect one of these teams to pick into it. So that was very surprising as we got into this, but it's no surprise anymore. PRX, they have been grinding this map before this tournament, and it is showing. This is some dominant, exceptional, and unique gameplay.
The words of Coach Nilzinho, Heretics have been sleeping for that first half. Hopefully, 11-1 rings to the tune of the alarm clock that gets them back in this game. Minibu's already gotten his way onto this A site now, tapped up a little bit, and PRX have not quite shown themselves yet. Something lurks amongst the shadows. That's a bloody good timing, at least for one. Devay, what a shot! Boo just runs into it. We can deal with him at least. Player advantage for PRX, though.
That is a late swing, but a crucial kill from Wu. Benji, can he catch a timing? He would have to be the one for Heretics right now to save them, to get this pistol round, keep them in the game.
Looks good. Jing, however, reaching around the corner. It's a very low health Woot that's able to dispatch him. Now we've got a God's Honest 2 versus 2, and here's Forsaken, gets the spike loose. It's up to Benji. Prowler, play from behind it. Patman sees his quarry. Not quite ready to finish the job. 35 seconds left in the round. Patman holds his ground. A diabolical start to the second half for Team Heretics. It might already be over.
He's won both pistols for this team. Obviously, Heretics are going to have to come into this with a tragic force. Hope that they can look like G2 with some stingers, maybe. This is stunning from PRX.
Finish off, brimming with confidence. Forsaken is loving it.
Just doing the little things right. There's something with the confidence to push out of that smoke when Devay is being pressured. They fight together. The fundamentals are just so clean right now. What a joy this is to see PRX in prime form.
Round number
White
14.
hot.
That could be the last of the game, but there is a stack on the B side. Patman, though, takes that one for the team. Forsaken finds his, and then PRX realizes action elsewhere. We've got Jing's going to start filtering up through Connector. He may see the second wave here from Heretics Cross.
He's going to try to swing out. He will. Gets the first tap down and double swing. Forsaken follows in on Minibu caught on the lurk. And it's the IGL, the big brother of the team.
In the unenviable position of having to salvage an impossible situation for his team. This would be one of the nastiest losses that Heretics have suffered in quite some time. Boo here's going to try and go to work with him, but Devay shuts the book on this first map. What a way to make a statement here in Toronto. PRX are back.
Find me one person that printed a 13-1 on Pearl for PRX. I mean, if they did, time for the lottery. Time for the lottery. What a showing.
Unreal.
Stunning from PRX. Absolutely stunning.